All right, let's go over the situation. We just recently installed a new website right in this URL, and now the client is saying that he needs a whole bunch of data from his old site, which is a very large site. What we did, we actually updated this backup right before doing the deployment. So I downloaded it and expanded it. Let me just show you. Right here, the content and the SQL, right? And as you can see, this is a 3 GB site. I mean, it has hundreds of thousands of posts, URLs, third-party plugins. I mean, this is a incredibly custom site with, lots of bells and whistles. So under the normal circumstances, just updating the WordPress options table and doing a mass update on URLs usually solves the problem and you get the site back. But in my 12 years of experience, I have seen that whenever site this large and this custom, just by doing those is not enough. Lots of times you'll have missing images, some plugins not working, that kind of situation. So in this situation, we are going to take a whole different approach, where we're gonna recover this site locally and then migrate the site to a different host, especially in our staging host, so that we can extract the data. Now there's a two-way you can do it. Like when you recover the site locally, you can extract the data from that site and then upload it on your target host. And in my case, I'm in charge of just collecting the data and redeploy it on a staging so that somebody else can come in and recover the data. I mean, that's my, in a slightly larger companies, that's the situation. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the approach I'm going to take to recover this locally does not involve any sort of, SQL or database update or any such thing. Okay, so at this point, I took the liberty to download MAMP for Windows locally and installed it. So the server is up and running, and we can actually go to the site like this. This is where it is in locally. You can actually find it from here. Going to PC and C drive and MAMP right here and htdocs. This file, this index.php is showing right here. So it's all up and running in localhost. At this point, we are going to install WordPress. Well, so we now have our localhost WordPress installed, and to see the front end, let's go to this. So everything is running on localhost. Now what we're going to do is make this guy target this guy using the same DNS, right? So to do that, we have to manipulate the Windows host file. To do that, we have to use Notepad as an administrator. Right click twice, it opened up here. Now the reason is usually the host file is protected for only admins to be used. So normally if you open a Notepad and open that host file, it's not going to let you save it. So that's why we had to open Notepad as an administrator. Now we're going to go look for the file. Open, C drive, Windows, and System32 is what we're looking for right here, and then drivers right here. Once we are here, then etc, and it looks empty because it's looking for text files. But if we change it to all files, now we see the necessary files, and our target is the host. Oh, so this file right here, what we're going to do, and as you can see here, www.marketingagencycoach.com. So we also have an entry, but it's currently commented out. I just took this IP, the local host, and I added here. Now I'm going to just enable that, and I'm matching this DNS exactly, and now I'm going to save it. Once saved, now let's refresh this. So if we just go here and turn this into HTTP, we have our MAMP. This is the same site. Now it is opening up with the DNS we were looking for. So with this content and this SQL, we will get the old site back in here without any issues, because at this point the site is fooled into thinking it's actually going to this DNS. So the database and this DNS will match exactly. So let's go to the next step. All right, so this is our target site, which is sitting locally, and we have to go to the next step in two different stages. One is, and yes, this is the current folder, and the first step is targeting this WP content and replacing that with this guy, and this database needs to be replaced by this SQL. So let's get started. I'm gonna first rename this. Then bring this guy over and expand it here. Meanwhile it's doing that, let's work on this database. Check all, drop everything, and let's go to import. Let's choose the file. This is the file. Open it up and go. Look what just showed up. Okay, so basically it's nothing to be afraid of. What's happening is, just look at this SQL file size. This has 278 megabyte, and let's check. It turns out this depends on these two entries in the INI file, PHP INI, right? So let's go check the PHP version, which is 7.2.14, and the location of the config php.ini file is inside here, its exact location. And let's see the current situation. Let's go do a search on max upload, and look, we have, it's only 2 megabyte, and if we go the other one, let's say, and it has 8 megabyte. So these two needs to be updated to this high number so that we can add pretty much any size, at least up to this size worth of files. So to do that, let's go to, and let me show you, while I'm still here, let me show you another way to check what the PHP version, and you get to choose from this drop down and click OK, and That way you get to reset the MAMP's own PHP version. And the way we got here was, let's do it one more time. Just clicking here and clicking on PHP info. That's how we got here. All right, so let's go back and let's go to MAMP. We're already in C, and then let's go find the conf 7.2.14, open it up, and this is the PHP INI we're about to edit. Let's go open it up and let's find upload max. Right there, upload max file size. Let's turn that into 640, and the next would be post max size. Let's change that to 640 also. Save it, and after this we also need to restart our server. So let's go back and stop it, and let's start it back on. Okay, so now let's refresh that just to make sure. So we're still at 7.2.14, and let's go find it. Post max is now 640, and the other one, upload max file size, is also 640. So we should now feel safe to go and try to import that file again, this file. So let's go back and hit go. Okay, all right, so now our database is all loaded up, nice and green, and we also have, let's just recheck htdocs, and we have our content folder. Let's check it out, how large this is. Should be very huge, 2.91 gigabytes. So we have the right thing in place, and fingers crossed, let's hit it. All right, so this is showing up now. It's because it's trying to reinstall WordPress, and we know exactly why this is happening, because let's go to the wp-config.php file, and we open it up, and then if we look here, we see that the table prefix is wp, but if we go to the database, it's wp-uj. So let's try to make it same. wp-uj underscore, save it. Now let's go back and make it a little bit bigger, refresh. All right, let's try to log in. Boom, and let's go check out the front end, and we got our site back. So we just restored a site, old site, a large site that we lost, and we locally now restored it, and now we have an opportunity to take it anywhere from here, and we didn't even have to do any database update because we had our host file in Windows changed to this. But after you're done, after you copy it or transfer it to something else, please make sure you disable these two lines, otherwise it will never go to the original site. That's it for now. Thank you.